The first thing I developed was the hat form. That was one of the most obvious sort of glass-blown things, because we all make bowls that, you know, flare out like that. If you flip it upside down, it's a hat. So it became sort of a canvas for transferring the design onto the glass. And what I didn't even realize and discovered purely by accident was, you know, we placed this hat form under a light, you know, coming directly down. All of a sudden these shadows appeared, you know, underneath the bowl, and it's like a perfect registration of the design in a shadow form. And so I like to think of that as almost like a spirit within the piece. I guess I got a lot of recognition for what I was doing as, you know, being a Native American artist. And at that time there just wasn't very many people doing it. And that maybe planted the seed in my head, you know, to sort of maybe connect it in the end with my cultural roots. It was a real evolution from, you know, my glass-blowing skills to the designing skills and trying to make it look like Northwest Coast art. I really had to reinvent myself in terms of understanding the design work. And the deeper I got into that, the more I realized I needed to learn. I started taking workshops with other people who were teaching the form line style. I had to really kind of understand the context of the designs and how they related to the mythologies. The salmon piece is going to be, we'll sculpt this form, and then after the piece is cooled, then I'll add this kind of a design work, this kind of stylized Northwest Coast design. I have a natural connection to glass, you know, because I've been doing it for 35 years. And I really wanted to just see how far I could go with it. And so I continue to work primarily in glass because there's a lot of stuff to explore. My journey to, you know, connecting the culture to my understanding of it has been a real transformation for me, because in the end it's really about community and family. I think once you become a keeper of cultural knowledge, it becomes a responsibility. I like to try to represent my tribe and my community. That's why, you know, I don't dabble in other people's cultural style. When I do that, it's always collaboratively. So I'm trying to bring people over into the glass world by collaborating with them and showing an example of what can be done, because I have the skills to do it. It's exciting to see, because I think that in the end it sort of reflects a cultural perspective, and in my opinion, you know, what better place to operate from than this connection. You know, you have this history, and I feel like if I were successful with my work, I would just be, you know, inspiring the next generation to do something in their own way. It was a few years ago I had my first solo show here at the Museum of Glass, but, you know, I'm currently working on an exhibition called Raven in the Box of Daylight. It's going to be opening up in 2017. As you walk through the exhibition, you'll get sort of a thread of the story about Raven, who brought the sun and the moon and the stars to the world and gave it to mankind as a gift. You know, to make a living as an artist is really pretty special. To sort of solidify in the consciousness of the collectors, you know, people that support the artwork, that glass is an accepted material. I mean, sometimes we have these kind of cultural corrals that we're kept in, you know, in terms of, well, this is traditional and this is contemporary. And I think that we're trying to break down those barriers a bit. Preston Singletary. Yahoo!